Again, I want to thank you all for joining us today and welcome you to our training. Like I said, I am Sam Howell. I am the Delaware County and Southern Fayette County Mentoring Coordinator. And Kathy is going to be on helping me today. So if there's other people that join, or if you put any questions or comments in the chat box, she will be watching for those. If you haven't signed in already, please do so with either your name or your name and email. This presentation is being recorded. You're welcome to have your video on, but you do not have to. And then just make sure you are muted to help with room distractions. I did a technology check-in earlier. Hopefully everyone can hear me and we will get started. So, Kathy is going to talk a little bit about youth mentoring and the connection that the trainings we offer have to our services. I'm going to turn it over to Kathy really quick.
Yeah, well, we're so glad that you're all here today. And one just pondering thought for you is what have you ever thought about what you could do to help youth in your community? And if you answer yes to that, we have a spot for you somewhere in mentoring, whether it's being a mentor, if it's being a short-term mentor helping out at events, if it's being on an advisory council, or just being a person that we can bounce ideas off of. That would be great. We would love to chat with you more. We do offer a positive adult role model to youth between the ages of 6 and 17 in Alma Key, Clayton, Delaware, Howard, Southern Fayette, and Winnebago counties. But anyway, for those of you who have been at our trainings before, you might have just thought through that list. You just said Clayton County and Southern Fayette. Those are fairly new to us. So we're really, really excited to have those counties on board. And currently in all of the counties that we serve, we have a total of I believe 58 matches. And that includes 6 in Southern Fayette, who is one of those new counties to us. So we're super excited about that. And we have 23 youth who are waiting. So just being a positive role model for youth is what we offer to folks. And we're the connection, like Sam said, between why are we doing this training and why do we have trainings, quite often during the year. First of all, we want to make sure our mentors and our parents are up on the most current information possible. But secondly, we do have a grant with Iowa Department of Health and Human Services that we provide these trainings to help people gain knowledge. And also the connection with youth mentoring is that we want our kids to be happy, healthy folks. So that's really the connection. And we're super glad that you're here. And I am going to give a real quick advertisement for the March 26th Youth Mentoring Bowl-a-thon is being held at Kingpin Entertainment Center here in Decorah. And we have bowling times at noon and 2, and our noon time slots are filled up, but we still have room for people to bowl at 2 o'clock. And donations for that participation helps support youth mentoring. So that's my commercial that you didn't ask me to do, Sam.
Yes, thank you, Kathy. You
Yep.
always give such a good overview on youth mentoring. So I take any wisdom that you offer and I run with it. So
Great. We all learn together.
some topics that are going to be covered today. We're going to talk about gaming through the years, gaming versus gambling. What can gaming lead to? And then how Jack and Jill will navigate the gaming world. How to monitor your child's gaming, and then cover some resources. So to start us off, we are going to read a little bit about Jack's journey. As I read through Jack and Jill's journey, these next 2 slides, I just want you guys to keep their background kind of in your head, because then we're going to jump to some learning. And then after we have some slides to kind of inform us, we will come back and brainstorm and circle back to Jack and Jill's journey. So for starters, Jack started gaming in 2nd grade. All of his friends got the same game for Christmas, and they were able to bond over this new game. The new fun game was called Roblox. Jack spends any free time he has playing this game. Jack buys loot boxes with his Robux on this game. Like I said, we're going to keep these in the back of our mind as we go through the presentation today. Jill's journey. Jill started playing online games as a way to escape reality her senior year of high school. She quickly found her way to an online casino world. These games felt familiar to her, other games she had already played. She signed up on a site called Bovada. This site was easy for her to sign up for. She only had to be 18. Jill loved playing these games. She was good at them. And other people online were congratulating her on the big wins. It was her money. What could be the problem? So I know we are changing gears here. Keep those 2 scenarios in the back of your head. So now we're going to dive into some statistics here. This is male versus female Iowa Youth Survey from 2021. The graph has a total number of 448 students from the 6 different community school districts. And Kathy did a really nice job putting the counties versus the state. This is also the youth spent money on an in-game or in-app purchase to extend their play. As you can see that the male percentage is higher than the females in both county and for the state of Iowa. Gaming through the years. So starting way back in 1972, when the first gaming console was put out to the public, all the way to 2024, we have Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. Recently, the virtual reality has become popular. Online gaming has had a significant impact on console evolution. The ability to connect the consoles to the internet has allowed for multiplayer games, downloadable content, and regular software updates for these games. Like I said, the virtual reality game provides more immersive experiences. The integration of streaming services allows players to stream directly to their console and focus on cross-platform play, enabling players to compete, and collaborate across different console systems. So it is constantly changing. There's been many more besides just the Odyssey and Xbox and PlayStation, but these I think were just some that I wanted to highlight. So you may be asking yourself how gaming can be dangerous. It's kind of a broad statement, but here are some ways that I've pinpointed that gaming can be dangerous. You could be playing online with strangers. This leaves the age, location, and motive completely unknown. So your child could be playing with a 45-year-old man or another 5th grader. Games can also require financial ties to the game, such as connecting your credit or debit card. These can be used to upgrade your character, purchase weapons, or other in-app things that we will talk about later. Gaming can also be used to cope and working on limiting screen time. So all children are wired differently. Although time does not affect if this becomes internet gaming disorder, it can play a part if youth have an impulsive behavior. So internet gaming disorder, we're going to talk about on this next slide, but I do want to point out that the ratio 5-to-1, boys are more likely to develop a gaming disorder than girls. That internet gaming disorder was put in the appendix in 2013. So that means that this topic was worthy of further research and investigation. So according to the ISU 2019 study by Douglas Gentile, there was 9 components, and those are the 9 components on the screen there to look at when you're diagnosing internet gaming disorder. If you have 5 out of these 9, it's considered to be internet gaming disorder because it's affecting multiple areas of the youth's life. So disruptive, negative feelings, tolerance, they're trying to cut back, but they can't. They're losing interest in other activities and things that they used to enjoy. They're realizing they have a problem, but they don't stop. They're starting to lie about it, escape life, loss of relationship or job. So what can gaming lead to? The earlier people are introduced to gambling, the more likely they become problem gamblers as an adult. So children introduced to gambling by age 12 are four times more likely to develop the gambling problem. Many of these video games and apps youth play stimulate the same excitement experienced by gamblers. And we're going to look at gaming versus gambling. I know there's like a fine line and it's getting pretty blurry in between the two. Gambling is the activity where individuals risk money or something of value of an unknown outcome in hopes of gaining something of value, such as money, prize, possession. When gambling, you might leave with less money than you started off with, and sometimes nothing at all. Online gaming is simply the playing of a video game over the internet, usually with friends. So when we're looking at the video games that have these components of gambling, some, but not all, some popular games that are in our youth's gaming consoles right now: Fortnite, Minecraft, Zelda, Lego Builders, Animal Crossing, and then some ways to gamble: sports betting, lottery tickets, casinos, online, slot machines, and more. Popular games that are age restricted, but youth are still playing and sometimes not following those age restrictions, such as Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, and more. I do want to point out that Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption have actual gambling in those games, such as blackjack, poker, and casinos. I was able to witness firsthand that Red Dead Redemption has that. My husband likes to play it, and you ride around on a horse. You're a kind of a cowboy. It's a Western scene, and he is able to go into saloons and sit down and have in-app, in-game blackjack and poker games while at the bar. So I just thought that was really interesting to kind of see what that looked like. I brought up prior that these can have connections like in-app purchases for certain things. So social casino games look and work like games in a casino, but instead of paying with money, you win points or in-game currency like coins or jewels. Sometimes players spend more to unlock special features or collect more points. The virtual goods are getting things like weapons or character upgrades. These can also be obtained through chance or could even be traded online for real money. And then loot boxes. If you remember in Jack's scenario, we talked about loot boxes. A loot box is a reward you can win or buy during a game. That is also chance-based, so it's a lot like gambling. The costs can add up also if you're buying multiple loot boxes using real money. And then we did throw in there that you could also win real money too. All right. Before I change gears on ways parents can monitor their online gaming, is there any questions or comments on gaming versus gambling? You can unmute yourself, you could put it in the chat, otherwise thumbs up and we will keep rolling. Okay. If you think of anything and you guys throw it in there, remember Kathy is able to read those and we can stop and we can make sure we address if you have any questions or comments. So this is some ways parents can monitor this. These apps that I have on here are just 3 of them. There was tons. But I did want to highlight a couple of the things that they have in common. They are children's internet activity and easy, so you can set and have access, set time limits. You can track their location, monitor their apps, filter content, make sure they're having safe surfing. And some of them run up to $9 a month, but some of them were free. And then there are things that you can do to block the apps and again, monitor their text messages, social media, and games for inappropriate content, cyberbullying, and more. So I do like this little safer online gaming picture that's up here. It's just a good reminder to make sure you're checking the rating of the games, adult supervision if it's required, reading the terms and conditions. Don't put your personal information out there. So if they are, having a game where they get to make their own character, make sure that they aren't using their real name, their real location. Make sure they have good sportsmanship. I know a lot of these games are a platform for cyberbullying. And then so just making sure they have good sportsmanship and online safety, and never agreeing to meet an online gamer and reporting inappropriate behavior. So talking about online predators now. So here's just 9 quick ways to protect your child or mentee from those online predators. I did include the website at the bottom of this slide. So there is a little bit more in-depth information about this, but talking with them and discussing those risky behaviors and spelling out what, a risky relationship is, making sure that they know different dangers coming into chat rooms, and not putting their information out there, such as where do they live, where they go to school, a favorite park or library they go to. Also talking about online flirting and those sexy selfies. Remember, you might not be playing with another 14-year-old female. You may be playing with an older gentleman who is, on this game searching for his next prey. Being clear about those online safety rules and having those boundaries. Surveillance software is kind of like we talked about with those apps. And then just making sure that your child knows they can talk to you or their mentor. Some warning signs when it comes to gaming and gambling. Relationship problems, being secretive, financial issues because they're getting increased amount and wanting more money or valued possessions, poor academic performance, and so much more. They're neglecting their friendships and other hobbies. Teens are 2 to 4 times more susceptible to developing a gambling problem than adults. So when we're looking at this, teenagers are more likely to develop this gambling addiction because the part of their brain that they use to make good decisions and reasonable decisions, they're not fully developed yet. So they're more impulsive. This makes them prone to making those poor decisions and spending more money than they should, or making a riskier bet. While internet gambling is a recent phenomenon that remains to be explored, the potential for future problems among youth is high, and it's especially high in this generation because they are growing up with those video games, computers, the internet, cell phones, all at their fingertips. Gambling actually affects the brain's reward system the same way that drugs do. So they're getting that high when they make these risky bets. When you gamble, your brain releases the dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter that makes you feel excited. So they might be gambling for that reason, or to avoid difficult emotions such as loneliness or feeling like they don't fit into society. So when they are winning, it's increasing their self-esteem and temporarily making them feel like they're on top of the world. Okay, we are circling back to Jack and Jill now. So now we are going to read through Jack, and then we're going to brainstorm together on some of this information that we've learned and kind of what we think we should do to help Jack. So Jack has been playing this game a lot. He is trying to decide if today he should keep playing or go outside. He decides to continue playing the game to get better than his friends. He gets $5 for his weekly allowance. But does he want to spend that all right now? He was planning to go to the book fair this week during parent-teacher conferences. He asked his mom for some extra money. So when we're thinking of this, we can look at internet gaming disorder, we can look at gambling. We kind of have two different avenues to look at. What should we do and how would we help Jack? You can put it in the chat, you can unmute yourself. All right, we're a little silent, that's okay. If we look at internet gaming disorder, and looking at the fact that Jack now has lost interest in going outside. So that's already, one red flag putting up. He is now lying about his money needs and to put more money toward his game. That's already another red flag. And now he's having a hard time cutting back his time gaming. He is, instead of going outside, he's going to continue gaming. So there's some things that we should be looking at, making sure, he doesn't get the 5 out of 9 to develop this internet gaming disorder. Right now he's at 3. Some things mom could do to kind of help herself and her understanding of Jack and his interest in the game Roblox. She could research the game and understanding the difference between the gaming and gambling and understanding loot boxes. Loot boxes are in the game Roblox, and you actually have the in-app money, which is called Robux. And then she could monitor the game and set up limited screen time and make sure that if, let's say the gaming console is in Jack's room and he's doing it normally behind closed doors, that they transition to having the gaming console in an open family area, such as the living room or another room, but leaving the door open. Closing the door and having it in his personal space also can lead to developing that internet gaming disorder. Does look like we have some stuff in the comments.
Yeah, can you see that? They were just added. I was making some notes. Can you see those or do you want me to read them?
I can see them, yep.
Okay, super.
All right, so Stacy commented maybe the money should be tied to going outside rather than just an allowance, which is a great idea. Making sure, I know some parents have money tied to, they do chores, they get some kind of reward. Having to jump off for a group. Oh, never mind. That's Leah just leaving us. Thank you, Leah. And let's see. Carrie put Roblox is horrible. My son stole around 3,000 for me over a period of time. And so that's a good example of why we should potentially have those apps on our phone to monitor our child, not connecting those financial ties. As a youth, they might not completely understand the way money works or credit cards, and they can just be clicking away on their game thinking they're having a great time. Colleen put good ideas to limit time and have the tough decisions, which I think as a kiddo, it's hard to leave that screen once you've developed those feel goods from, the game, but making sure you have those boundaries as a parent will really help your youth. Jen put in there, some parents have only used gift cards versus tying their debt or credit cards to games. That's a great idea. I actually hadn't even thought of that. So great idea from Jen, using a gift card versus putting your debit or credit card on the game. All right. Well, thank you guys
And
for,
Carrie had a comment too that she liked the idea of the allowance being geared towards outside time.
yes,
And
I,
I was kind of wondering too, because we have mentors who are on today. These are all suggestions of what the mom could do. What thoughts do we have related to what mentors can do?
that's a great idea. We can brainstorm too. Um, Thinking of what maybe a mentor um, could do to help Jack in this scenario, if especially maybe this is taking away from the match's time together, or he's having a hard time focusing on doing something at a group event because all he can talk about is getting home to play this, or maybe he's having some anger issues with the mentor because he's having kind of that withdrawal feeling of needing to be on that game. What are some things we could do to kind of help a mentor? If anyone has any other brainstorms for that? I definitely think if just myself brainstorming here out loud, I definitely think if my mentee came to me and they were very excited about this game, I would take the time to research myself, figure out more about it. I definitely think that that's something that both the parent and the mentor could do, and understanding, what those loot boxes are and what's drawing him to this game so much. If it's the reward of the unknown, or if it is really just him playing a game with his friends. Looks like in the chat, we do have somebody, Jen had put, mentors could keep open dialogue on what games they are playing so they can learn more about the game. And if they talk about money, they can talk about the dangers. I think that's a great step to go towards if they are talking about using their money, their allowance, their parents' credit cards, debit cards, and then making sure that those youth are aware of the dangers that can follow with tying their money or their personal information to that game. All right, we are going to talk about Jill. Let me move us on. Oops. All right. So now we're going to brainstorm a little bit about Jill. Jill loves the feeling she gets from playing these online casino games. When she's hanging out with her friends, she is often thinking about her games and can't wait to get home. Normally, she joins her friends and family in Friday night football activities, but she started to lose the interest in that. Her friends are starting to notice how distant she's becoming. So if you were Jill's friend, what would you do? Again, you can put in the chat, you can unmute yourself.
And there was another sharing in the chat that Elaine said that she's recently heard that you have to have a subscription to pay for PlayStation. So I think it's a good idea to not renew these subscriptions.
I am not sure if that, yes, if there is subscriptions on PlayStations or any other.
Sam, this is Stacy. Can I ask a question? Just having a child who's now in his 20s, but knowing that his time playing games really was what kiddos do today to kind of hang out with their friends, right? They have the headsets and they're talking to each other and they make plans that at 8 o'clock we're all going to get on the same game and we're all going to do it. So I guess I understand that there's warning flags and all of these things that we have to watch for, but how do we balance that with them having their friend time? And it used to be like we'd get together and ride our bikes up and down the street. Well, that's not what they're doing anymore. That's not what today's kiddos do. So I guess I'm just curious, like the balancing and the risky behaviors.
Yeah, so when I was doing my research on this, obviously there is a lot of, I feel like, rewards and good that can come out of, online games or video games. Not everything not every game is going to have those kind of warning signs with those and tied to them. I think really what it comes down to is the child. If they already have, impulsive behavior going into playing video games, that would be a big red flag to look for. I know that some video games, yes, it is an escape for them, and that is their connection with the friends outside of school time where they can kind of de-stress, and it's, it is just them playing a game. And then I just think the parent or guardian, whoever is in charge of things at the house, just making sure that they're kind of aware of that game and, making sure maybe they are playing it in a public area such as the living room versus behind closed doors, so that at least mom's, in the kitchen cooking dinner and she can kind of overhear things. That's just kind of what I know from this. I know we could go on and on about, positive gaming too. It's not all negative. If I missed anything, Jen or Kathy can jump on, but that's just kind of my way of thinking about this.
Okay,
That-
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that was a great way to answer it. The one word that I love that you used, Stacy, was balance. And I think that's the thing that when I attended a training on gaming recently, that's what the researchers said, was that if you can suggest to your person, because not all gamers are young people, if you can see balance in their life, that they're still have positive relationships with other people, they're able to work, they're not, losing tons of money, they're not depressed, that they've got that balance of, this is what I do for my leisure, and this is how I have some of my friends, kind of thing. You can see that that's a healthy thing, but when you sense that it's not healthy, that's the other side of the spectrum. That would be my thoughts.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy, for kind of throwing what my brain was scattering around into really easy and simplified words. It looks like we have a little bit more in the chat. Let's see. Jen put, I would ask her why she is pulling away. Hopefully her friends and family can bring her the joy that the games do, which is something that I was also going to kind of make a point about, finding something else that she can find that joy and that like natural high in. A suggestion that I had, just as, kind of the mentor aspect of it. If she is 18 and she is maybe thinking about going to college, it could be something, if she's so interested in these games, she could, learn programming, she could do virtual design. So, you could kind of encourage and point her in a direction where she can still feel like she's making a difference, making a connection, because now others could potentially play her games. Colleen put, confront Jill about noticing her withdrawal from the friend group, which I definitely think would be a great choice. Maybe she's unaware how much time she's playing these games, and she does need someone just to point that out to her. Some resources. Your Life Iowa is a great resource here that we have. It is 24/7 call, text, chat resource hub for problem gambling, substances, and brain health. Kathy and myself do give presentations on Your Life Iowa, so you are able to reach out to Kathy or myself if you are wanting more information and to learn kind of how to navigate this website. That is something that we can help you with, or help you and your coworkers or a group, church group, or anything that you attend and would like some more information on this. Another resource is 1-800-BETS-OFF, and I think that's more of a well-known, catchier thing that people hear versus the Your Life Iowa. This resource has been around since 2008. It is free help. So just kind of wrapping up before we finish these next couple slides. I know we threw a lot at you today, and I want to thank you guys for your participation. Is there any questions or comments about youth mentoring or the information that was covered today on gaming, ways it can be dangerous, those resources that are available? Okay, so as we are wrapping up, if you aren't having any questions popping up right now, you can always email myself or Kathy later. We are going to put the evaluation link in the chat. If you guys could take just a few minutes out of your time here to quickly do that, that helps us make any improvements for next time, since this will be offered again later this month. And just kind of feedback on if we covered what you were hoping to get out of today. Kathy will throw that link in there for you.
It is there.
Perfect. So just take a few minutes, guys, and step away and do that evaluation, please. Okay. So again, if you are finishing up, that's okay. I'm going to quick do my wrap up. Thank you. Thank you for attending today. Again, another reminder, this training will be offered March 26th at 6:30 by Kathy, and correct me if I'm wrong, that one is in person and Zoom, so it's hybrid. You have the choice to do either.
Mm-hmm.
And the location of that, Kathy, is where?
The in-person location is at First Lutheran Church here in Decorah, in their fireside room.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, if you know a friend or family member, or if you think this would be great for your mentees' parents to join, please encourage them. This will be given again at the end of this month by Kathy. We thank you all for joining us today and hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday and enjoy the nice weather while we still have it. Thank you all.